Welcome to Inside the Win. We'll break down real-world wins, showing you exactly how strategic partnership with our experts empowers you to tackle your most ambitious opportunities with confidence. Let's jump in.
Hi, everyone. My name's Chad Muckenfuss, VP of Cloud here at Telarus. And with me today is Jason Kaufman, our principal architect for North America. And we are going to be going into an Inside the Win, specifically in and around a cloud opportunity. So, Jason, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chad.
So, on today's Inside the Win, what we'd like to do is just go into a win that is typical of most partners in the cloud space. And Jason, can you kind of talk me through this win here a little bit with one of our cloud suppliers, Ancero?
Yeah. So it started off with an initial assessment where a customer had some frustration with many different MSPs and they want to consolidate, not have many other throat to hugs. Like they just wanted to simplify, and having many vendors and stuff like that was causing some headaches, and they were starting seeing gaps in the different MSPs. So they wanted something that was more templatized, and they wanted something that they had one company to call. They knew they'd get familiar with all the different locations, all the different entities that they grew up into them. So what they wanted to do is, we had that agnostic conversation with them and learned all these frustration points and everything. And they weren't a small size company. They weren't like an enterprise. We're talking like 50 different desktops, 90, 80, 89 users, I think it was, in Microsoft 365. So I mean, it was a good size entity across all these different locations. And after talking to them, we were noticing like, hey, they wanted to build out further into Microsoft 365. They even had a couple data centers that they wanted to migrate into Azure. They had a lot of things that they wanted to do better, like mitigate, controls with cybersecurity, align with the CIS 18 framework. So after determining it, we consolidated with the partner, and we wanted to see like, hey, how can we land this account? Because there's many other gaps that they haven't fully recognized as a priority yet. They have a couple things that they mentioned were top of mind, but we saw some other things that we could bring to the table as well. So we wanted to bring in an entity that would grow with them, and it actually scaled a lot quicker than we were expecting. Usually there's some time frame like, hey, let's have the initial implementation and then let's bring in the rest of it after that. But actually it moved really quickly after determining that, hey, this is a really great MSP. They also have an MSSP side for the cybersecurity. They determined that we have all these different gaps from the CIS framework. Now let's look at them for the mitigation of controls. And it actually worked out really well to where not only did they figure this out, but they also figured out how can they mitigate whatever risks were coming from aligning with that framework.
Yeah, and to talk numbers on this specific opportunity, it started again just meeting them where they needed to be and where they wanted to be from an agnostic perspective, and then allowing the to respond to that. So it was about a $6,500 MRR.
I think it was 6,600 exactly,
Okay.
and then it grew about 50% to about 9,500 at the end of the day, which is, I know that's a big jump,
Yes.
50% growth in just a matter of, couple small months, because they determined, hey, they fit everything on one provider here.
Yeah, and I think this is key because this is an SMB solution that makes it easy to sell cloud and the cybersecurity blended right on top of it there because these small businesses really need that additional help, that one MSSP, as you said, that managed service and security provider that can do all of it for them, and they have a relationship that will now grow along with this organization. And I think there was some regulatory, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was some regulatory associated with this because they were in the finance space, right?
Yeah. You got to look at the PCI. You got to look at a lot of things on protecting the data. Not just it goes much further in like HIPAA compliance and all the other frameworks. So yeah, there was a lot of due diligence that was needed to be done up front, and there was a lot of that. That's where a lot of the gaps came in from the original MSPs. They weren't taking that into account. So when we brought in Ancero, they're like, oh yeah, this is right in our bread and butter. This is the gaps that we normally see. Let's align you with this framework. And then, they did the whole mitigation steps after that. But yeah, if you're looking at that price point, even full scaled $9,500 a month, it sounds like it's something that's a good investment, but heck, at 50 desktops and 89 users, multiple different locations, that's dang near impossible to do with one person. And then that person's got to take, vacations and all that stuff. For the customer, it was immediate ROI because now you have a full cybersecurity team, you have a full MSP, you have all the licensing that goes into all of this for less than, one or two employees. So, and plus they don't have the headache of trying to keep those employees. So, I mean, they were very happy in the end. We were very happy to see that and help them through it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining me and outlining this today, Jason. Again, just to reiterate the numbers, $6,600 to a $9,500 growth in a matter of a couple of months. That land and expand methodology is what we're looking for and what we want to help the partners gain. And again, we want to bring actual opportunities to the table in these inside the wins that are easily obtainable for any of the partners across the board. So again, thanks for joining me today. Look forward to the next one.